What's up, everybody? I'm Wally. This is the Ferris Life, and today we are going to be turning this probably too long piece of 1/2 inch rebar into a poker for the fire pit out back. But also, we're going to do a little bit of an experiment. I don't know if I've told this story before, but when I was 10 years old, back in 1984, I saw Conan the Barbarian for the very first time. And at that moment, I decided I wanted to be a barbarian and a blacksmith. And somewhere not long after that, somebody or somehow the notion got into my head that neither one of those things existed anymore. I don't even think barbarians ever existed the way they're depicted in Conan. But somehow I decided, or was told, or somehow came up with the idea on my own that blacksmithing died sometime during the Industrial Revolution. Then, in 2017-ish, my nephew introduced me to this little-known show. You might have heard of it, called Forged in Fire. And then I realized, holy crap, blacksmithing is real, and I want to be one. And I got so upset every time they would bring out the coal forges, and those guys would be like, "I've never worked on a coal forge before. I don't know what I'm doing." So I decided I was going to learn on a coal forge, but the only coal I could get was anthracite, which is home heating coal, which uses a lot of oxygen and burns steel in a blink of an eye. And I think that's why I am so afraid of leaving my steel in here too long, because I've been traumatized by how much steel I burnt back then. So I'm going to take this little piece of rebar. I think it's a 1/2 inch also, I'm not sure. Either way, it's a tiny little piece, and I'm just going to lay it on the side there and leave it in there the whole time and see what happens. I got a feeling it's not going to come out looking like a sparkler like they always did with the anthracite. So anyway, that's my story. Let's get to work. As we learned before, also I have everything is charged. Phone is charged. The receiver for the wireless mic is charged. The wireless mic is charged. The tank is practically brand new, so hopefully we won't have any problems. And this part of the excitement got missed, I think, on 2 videos where I turned the gas on and then stuck the flame in. And don't do that. There's a big poof. It was scary the first time. The second time I just felt like an idiot. So you turn the flame on first, then gas it. So much nicer. It's been a while since I had this thing running. Weather's been crappy. It's beautiful, 70 degrees, cloudless, sunny skies all week long, and then when the weekend comes, it rains, or last weekend snowed 8 inches. But it's Tuesday, so of course it's beautiful. So I guess first things first is I'm going to stick this little piece in there. We'll get to see what happens to that. Got the 12mm 1/2 inch Tom Tongs. I think they'll do the trick. I don't know even if I'm going to need them. This piece is so long. But they work. So I'll let that warm up and put you on pause. So, if you stumbled onto this channel, you must be into blacksmithing, in which case you've probably already seen John Switzer over at Black Bear Forge has started a Back to the Basics series, I guess. And I was watching the second video about drawing down, and I've been struggling with drawing down tapers and these types of things, which are very basic blacksmithing skills. And as it turns out, I've been starting at the top of the taper and working my way towards the tip, which creates a lot of problems, especially at the tip where you get a lot of fish lipping. And watching his videos, you start by making the point. Now my hammer strikes are pretty crappy. I'm supposed to turn, 90 degrees with every hit. Till you get a point. Now, ugly. But like I say, I struggle with how long to leave it in for. And that little piece has been in there just as long, maybe a little bit longer. And there's no sparkles. I'll pull it out so you can see it. See if it works any easier. Not a noticeable difference. Not to me, anyway. I will let that one cook. I'll draw that chip into a point. And I think that's going to be the handle. We're going to do the handle side first. I got a nice little bucket that I could fill with water, so I would have a little quench tank. But water main broke on the street this morning, so we don't have any water, so I can't quench anything. That's fine. It is what it is. There's the point. I don't know if you can see it all that well. That this helps focus it. Not great. Either way, you can tell if that's focusing or not. And my vision isn't all that great either. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Drawing all this down is probably going to be a huge pain in the ass. But I think I'm going to try and do like a step down here and maybe try to make this into like a leaf. So that it would kind of have like a, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but when it wraps around, like it'll just touch, like the leaf will just touch and maybe have a little bit of curve in it that may be beyond my skill set, but I think that's what I'm going to go for. We shall see. The other piece, been in there this whole time. It's probably been about, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. Not sparkling at all. So I don't think I have to worry about leaving it in there too long. I've only got it at 5 psi anyway. And it's only a single burner. Although if you're into blacksmithing like I am, and you've seen Christ-Centered Ironworks, got the single burner Mr. Volcano and the dual burner Mr. Volcano, and I ran them up the temperature to see which one ran hotter, and they both ran the same temperature. It's just the 2-burner one covered a wider area than the single burner. I thought for sure it would be twice as hot with 2 burners, but it's the same temperature over a longer area, or a longer forge. Science. So I think I'm gonna try put a step down in it now. I believe it's called a step down. I've radiused these front edges a lot more, so that's what I'm gonna go for. I want to move the camera so you can see better. I mean, it's not raining right now, so. All right, here we go with the attempted step down, if that's even the right terminology. Put it right on the edge. Half face below, I believe is what that's called. I want to leave the ridges in on the straight part, but I don't want them to be there in the flat part, or the curved part. That's ugly. Pretty ugly. See that? That's rookie shit. Is that even in the camera? There it is. Rookie malarkey right there. Heat it up and see if I can't fix it. Now here, I want this to be nice and flat, probably all the way to here, maybe here, all the way flat. But this way, I want it to be exactly the same the whole way down. So that could be a problem. I keep working on it. What can you do? Just keep trying. And don't touch it up here. And I think it's safe to say it's pretty safe to say that this is going to be this hot and no hotter. Now I'm not 100% sure if it was this same Mr. Volcano Hero Forge or a different single burner propane forge, but I'm pretty sure it was John Switzer over at the Black Bear Forge. Got it up to forge welding temperature and was able to. That might have been Roy at Christ Center, or both of them. It could have been both of them. I watched a lot of these guys. I know Roy has this one and the dual burner one in his shop, so it might have been Roy who got it up the forge welding temperature. I'm not sure. But I got it down at about 5 psi. And I mean, I don't really mess too much with the air brake. I think it's called air brake. When I shut the forge off, I close the air brake so that the heat doesn't chimney up there and ruin any kind of seals that are up in there. I don't know if that stops 100% of the heat going up there, but I believe it stops enough. And so as far as burning your steel in the Mr. Volcano single burner Hero Forge, you're not going to do it by accident. It is going to take some effort. It is going to take some tinkering. And you probably need one of those wireless thermometers so you can tell just how hot you're getting it. But that's been in there for a good hour. It's not burnt. It's not pretty. It didn't sparkle. I mean, you want to look at it. I believe that's all just forge scale. I don't think that's melted or burnt. It didn't get above. It was like a bright orange. Never got to yellow. But then again, the sun was shining. Blue skies are coming. It might not rain after all. Of course, I probably just jinxed it by saying that. But either way, I got the shelter built. As long as it doesn't get windy and ruin everything, I can forge wet. As long as my electronics don't get wet, I'm fine. I don't get out here enough to complain about the weather. I should have come out here when there was 8 inches of snow on the ground. But, you know, I wussed out. What are you going to do? I don't think that radius is big enough. Whoops. That was a complete miss. There's some weird things blowing around the yard. I don't know what the hell that was. It looked like the tip of the microphone, but that's still right here on my chest. Right? Nope, that was the tip of the microphone. I wonder what this sounds like without that spongy thing on there. I think I just got some slag in my mouth. And the tip's going all crooked. Do you see that? I'm going to have to pay closer attention to that. It might not matter if it's going to be a leaf, but it matters to me. Let me go chase my fur ball. So it's looking like this is going to be a multi-part video. I'm definitely going to make like part 1 and part 2. I'm not going to try to film this part and then connect it to the other video of the back end, because that's how I lost the whole first half of the last video, as I'm stuttering my way through this unscripted narration. If you're wondering about this little rig, it seems to me, and I could be wrong, it could be my imagination, but it seems to me if the metal in the forge is actually down touching the brick, it seems to me that it takes the heat better, faster. It could be my imagination. I have no idea. I do love that the sun's coming back out. That's my happy place. When my wife ain't home, sunshine is my happy place. When my wife is home, that's my sunshine, baby. Woo! That's a piece of slag in my shoe. You ever see, what's his name? Glenn, I think it's GS in the Forge or GS in the Shop, I think it's his channel. He makes a lot of tongs. And the way he forges, man, that stuff looks like it comes out of a machine. It's insane. Like perfectly, all the edges are crisp and perfect. I just spit all over myself drooling about it. And you see those Habana guys and girls, just everything is so like machine perfect. I don't even know how I'm gonna straighten that out, but heat it up and find out. It's crazy how good those people are. And they bang it out like it's nothing. And you got folks like us, beginners out here, struggling away. I could take some classes. My wife got me a class back when I lived down in Brockton on the first class you make a spoon, and I think a knife was second, and then a fork, I believe, was the progression. She spent way too much money on it, and I never got a chance to go. At that time we were dating, and so I had my kids every other weekend, and so when I wasn't with them, I was up here or in Clinton with her, which is nowhere near. I think it was Canton where the Forge was, which is close to Brockton, but nowhere near Clinton. So I didn't wind up taking that class, and then, of course, the gift certificate expired. And now I'm here, struggling away. So really, what better way to learn than like, what do they say? You learn more in failure than you do in success. I'd like to be successful, though. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try and straighten out that hook. Where am I at? Point. Make it at least look like I tried to make it symmetrical. Looks like a Dr. Seuss painting or something. Hat. They also say, which I keep forgetting, is you're supposed to hit one spot. Your hammer falls in one spot and you move the steel to be under your hammer. And I keep forgetting that, and I just put the steel down and move the hammer all around like I'm doing the hokey pokey. I mean, it's still pretty gnarly. Still pretty ugly. I think I got the width pretty close. Still want that to be a lot flatter. Maybe not a lot flatter, maybe like just a quarter of what it is. A quarter more down. I don't know what I'm saying. A little bit flatter than that. And just like that. When the clouds were rolling in and it was getting a little dark, it was kind of cool because I could see exactly what color the steel was. Not that I'm complaining about the sun. It'll be nice to have some kind of a shelter someday. I could step out into the sun while the steel heats in the dark and then come back in and be like, a little longer, fella. Shameless product placement. So I have a Redbubble. If you go to whatever you call it, the homepage, I'm not sure. Profile, maybe the profile. In the description of the profile, anyway, there's a link to my Redbubble. And if you go on there, the way they show you the products is kind of a little complicated. You go on there and you'll see two designs. You click on whichever one of the two that you like most, and then you scroll down to where it says also available on, and there's a little button there that you can push that says see this design on, I think it says 63 plus products. And there's stickers, there's everything, literally everything, too much really. But there's t-shirts, sweatshirts, tank tops, hats, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, you name it. Mouse pads, shower curtains, freaking pillow covers, stickers, which is what that is. But I think there's also water bottles that you can get, plastic water bottles, with it already printed on there. Shameless plug is what that was. This bottle is a metal one. I bought it myself, and then I got the stickers that are see-through, transparent, I guess is the word. And there are ones that are not transparent, and this is the transparent one. And so it makes it so much deliciouser. I'm not in marketing. A little bit thinner. Ooh, that's hot. Now it's starting to twist on me, so it might be just a little too thin. A little too thin for my skill level. Not quite as thin as I want it to be. I watched the video not too long enough ago where I can't remember whose channel it was on, but it was basically, I'm going to show you the wrong way to make a leaf, and then I'm going to show you the right way to make a leaf. And if I remember correctly, that's the wrong way. I think that might cause a cold shut, and it might snap off like my first leaf tried to. It did fly. But as far as, and I kind of want it to be a little skinnier than that, and it's not exactly uniform. I'm gonna just do some touch-ups while it rains down on me. And then maybe attempt a leaf. There's dark clouds, but I can see brightness on the other side. So even if it pours, shouldn't be too bad. I think I'll put this. Now it's raining, so we'll finish it up next time. Maybe it'll be a 3-parter. Who knows? Until next time.